Hello gamers, what's up? Welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. Really quick intro, really fast. So as you can see, this video is about Froot. I DM'd her and I asked her if it was okay for me to make a video about her, and she said, sure, I'd be down for you to tell me the things that I can improve on and things that'll help me play better. So that's what this video is. If you watch the whole thing, I really appreciate it. Arigato. Doing the same format as the recent videos where I play the clip and then I talk about it. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you watch all the way through, arigato. I love you so much. Thank you for hitting the like button, and please subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, because I'm gonna stream a little bit more on Twitch now. So yeah, bye.
I don't want to heal the purple armor because if I do 290 damage, I can just get one. I think someone's here.
Extended light mag here. Level 3.
Joker here.
Yep, someone's here.
Got me eye on an enemy nearby.
Nani?
Grenade out.
Running away, running away.
There's a wee numpty.
Enemy knuckle cluster.
Eee, I almost died! Ah! Why would you do that? I was healing! Okay, hold on.
Half the squads are gone already. Fantastic.
All right, slide jump, slide jump, slide jump, slide jump, slide jump. All right, so I definitely recommend slide jumping a lot, gamers, because you are able to control the direction that you move so much more than if you just regularly slide and don't jump. Because when you slide and you don't jump, you kind of just get like, you're like sent forward, right? You're sent forward and you're kind of just forced to go in that one direction, right? So one of the reasons why I recommend slide jumping when you're on mouse and keyboard, but you should be slide jumping regardless of what input you play. Mouse and keyboard players can redirect their momentum once they jump. There's this technique called tap strafing, if you guys aren't aware of it. And what you can do is once you are in the air and you have your forward momentum after sliding and then jumping, you can actually change the direction of your momentum. If you slide jump straight, you can actually change your momentum and go bop, or you can go bop, or you can go back. If you're on mouse and keyboard, I definitely recommend being at least comfortable with slide jumping. And then if you want to get better, then you can learn tap strafing as well. And when you slide jump, you can also air strafe. So you can either hold A or D and slightly move left or slightly move right. It's not as drastic of a change as tap strafing, but you can still change the direction just a little bit. So I definitely recommend getting in the habit of slide jumping.
I don't want to heal the purple armor because
My ultimate is ready.
if I do 290 damage, I can just get one.
All right, so here she says, I don't want to heal the purple armor because if I do 219, or I think she meant to say 91 because it's 91 right here. It says I can do 291 damage. I can just get one. I think that that is a very, very good mindset to have, in my opinion, because in this game, and kind of just like in any shooter or pretty much any game in general, you want to go into each fight with like the mindset that you are going to win and, you know, have confidence, right? And you're going to do damage. She's going to a fight with the assumption that she's going to win and level up her shield. So this is a very good mindset to have. I recommend everybody else have that.
I don't want an L style though, I know that much.
I recommend putting your gun away and not having it out unless you're about to shoot somebody, because you can sort of like run faster and you can, it's just the best way to move around the map. Only take your gun out if you really need it.
I think someone's here.
Extended light mag here. Level 3.
Joker here.
Yep, someone's here.
Saw a ping, somebody's right over here. It sounds like they're moving this way, so we have an idea of where one is right now.
Got me eye on an enemy nearby.
All right, we got a bloodhound scan up from the top right. Up from the top right, good old bloody scan.
Nani?
Grenade out.
All right, and as we can see, she's still staying in her spot. I definitely recommend moving away. Well, as we can see, you don't have a bloodhound on your team, right? And even if you did, your teammates are not where that scan's coming from, so you know if it's for sure an enemy. So what you want to do is you want to immediately react and be like, yo, wait, there's an enemy right there. And take a look at their position that they're going to have, right? They have this high ground over here. They have this cover right here. They have another cover right here. They can even use the iron bars for a little bit of cover. It's not much, but it might block a few of your shots. But it's been quite a while after that scan, and she's still chilling in her spot. This spot right here, even if you're facing over here, it's completely open. completely exposed to this area right here. There's no cover that you can work with right over here. There's none. Right now, this bloodhound over here is your biggest threat. I know you ping somebody over here, but we notice that the person is underneath, right? They're underneath, so either they have to go all the way to this side or all the way to this side, or they have to climb up right over here where the circle is, because there's a hole right there. Either way, it's going to take them a while to do so. And the one that can easily come up here and just absolutely steamroll you because you have no cover is the person up here. So this is your biggest threat. And so this is what you want to be doing in the middle of fights. Is in the middle of fights, you want to be analyzing and realizing who is the biggest threat, right? Who is the biggest threat? Who do I need to have my attention on the most? And it is not the person over here for the most part. It is the person over here. So as soon as that bloodhound scans you, you really have to like make that split decision of this bloodhound is the biggest threat. I need to reposition. That comes with a lot of game sense, so don't worry about it too much. It'll come to you over time, right? Right now, back up, find a different position and some place where you can utilize cover. That is your priority right now. It's pretty unsafe. Just acknowledge where you are and acknowledge what your position is in relation to enemies, and then play based off that.
Running away.
And then we see that she throws her ult. I'm not 100% sure about this ult. I don't know if this is what it's being used for, but it more looks like it's blocking off the line of sight. We see the line. It's basically giving her visual cover right here. I know a lot of Fuse players do this, so it's definitely not a waste of a Fuse ult in that, if that makes sense. It might be like a good thing to do if you want to retreat. Like there's a guy right here, and so I guess maybe she wants to cover her back as she runs away, or I don't know if she was trying to trap somebody in it. At least I think that's a guy right there staring at her. Yeah, no, it is. So,
Running away. Running away.
I can't give super good Fuse advice because I'm not a Fuse player. I've played Fuse very minimally, but I definitely see Fuse is using their ult like that a lot.
Away,
So
running away.
they use it on me, and I'm annoyed. So for the most part, you want to avoid being so compact and close together with a team like this. Like one nade is going to just roll all three of you, right? I mean, this person's on top, but they'll probably jump down here in a bit. There are different ways enemies can come from. Like they can come from this way, or they can come from this side, right? You know, you have different angles that you can be wrapped on, and you don't really have any cover to work with unless you climb up and play height. But then there might be somebody back here, right? And so overall, I would definitely recommend just like trying to take other like off angles or separate angles to still be able to shoot and have a line of sight on the enemies, but at the same time position yourself in a way to sort of support your teammates at the same time and not be in a position that could end the game very quickly if something bad were to happen to it. So a good alternatives to this spot right here are behind this, using this for cover, or behind this wall, right? Those are good alternatives. For the most part, you only have one angle that people can see you from, and you can still throw shots in this direction. But you know, if something happens to this middle main position or whatever, if somebody throws a nade or two nades and they knock both of your teammates, right, you're still up, right? You're not going to get knocked with them. Fuse's Q, it goes very far, right? And so if we see the angle of this line, there it is. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna see if I can trace it. It goes all the way, boom, and then it like cuts off over there. But either way, this goes very, very far behind, and it's not gonna hit where you want it to hit. It's not gonna like land on the top of the stairs. It's gonna go all the way to the other side. So that like this is a very hard angle to hit, and it's an arc star too, as I'm pretty sure. No, it's a knuckle cluster. If it was like a regular nade, you could maybe like bounce off the ceiling, whatever. But overall, this isn't gonna do as much. And I would definitely recommend avoiding trying to hit somebody with your knuckle cluster like this, because it's going to be pretty ineffective. I would recommend trying to just either focus more on your positioning, learn where the enemies are, or have your gun out and be ready to shoot. If you want to climb this thing, right, you would have enough height to where you'd be able to utilize your knuckle clusters more, because you would have a better angle and be able to hit like the top of it if you needed to. There was a lot of damage taken right here, right? Most of it started, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, most of it started because she was using her knuckle cluster, right? She was very late to shooting. Over here, she's already taken so much damage, right? She's already taking so much damage before she can put off a shot. You can think of it like this. There's basically two options. You either, and you do as much damage as you can, and go down. And the option that I think you should do would be like, okay, I'm not going to win this fight. I need to get out of here as quickly as possible. I don't care about how much damage I do. I need to survive. And so instead of shooting, I think a better option here would have just been to like turn around and book it back to some sort of cover. It's about recognizing, am I going to win this fight? Am I not going to win this fight? Am I going to win this fight? But it comes a lot of practice, a lot of game time, a lot of play time, and it's not something you will probably learn after your first 2 months, because I know I didn't. Yes, definitely recommend against opening your inventory to pop your heals. Either use the wheel thing or give them hotkeys. Bound does some hotkeys. Some people do like 5, 6, 3, something like that. I don't know. I don't use them. I use the wheel, but those are milliseconds that you could be saving to do something else. Yeah, I honestly don't know what this Horizon's doing. This Horizon's tripping, bro. All right, last thing right here is that I want to talk about.
Why would you do that?
For the most part, when you are shooting, you want to be moving, right? You want to avoid staying still, because the more you move, the harder you're going to be to hit, right? And we can see that she very much stays still, maybe walks just a tiny bit. The thing about the RE45 is that it's a pistol, right? So you're going to have a lot faster strafe speed compared to like an R301, right? So you can move faster when ADSing. Definitely recommend trying to get comfortable with moving left and right to avoid getting shot.
Let's check out this area.
Oh, wait. People have been here recently.
I see someone over there.
They are over there.
Already on my mark. Firing for effect.
Wait. There's an octane over here. Where'd he go?
Hop in the chimney.
Yeah! Okay.
They got me. Enemy spotted.
Attention.
Enemy knuckle cluster.
Need a medic over here. Going over here.
Reload.
I need your things. You're the Loba.
Grenade!
Ah, I need this thing. You're the Loba.
Half
You're the
the squads are
Loba.
down. There's a
Oh, wait.
Oi. Oi.
already on my mark. Firing for effect.
Wait.
Don't sit and stand still in the open. If somebody's on a roof or something, even though it's your teammates Bangalore, you know, if somebody's deciding to like brave the storm or whatever, and they got like a sniper and you get booped in the face, just avoid standing still. Avoid standing still. Especially out in the open with very little cover, like you were on that top one. But this one still here isn't the greatest place to be. Okay, so honestly, she seems to have found a really good sensitivity. Like what I'm looking at right now, a lot of the times with newer players, you see it's actually pretty high. So you see the sensitivity very like jerky and stiff and stuff like that. But for the most part, hers is like pretty fluid and smooth. So it looks like she needs to probably work on her tracking a little bit more. Definitely recommend Kovacs, not sponsored, but I still use Kovacs to this day, almost every day for the most part, or at the very least every other day. I still get in there and I still practice my tracking. It's definitely something that I think everybody should do. If you really want to improve, get comfortable with it, and then it really helps train your arm. So I definitely recommend it. But I do it, and I usually listen to like an audiobook or a podcast while I'm just mindlessly tracking a bot with my my mouse, my arm, my wrist.
There's an octane over here. Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? He's healing. So let's talk about this really quickly. All right, so you kind of just scared the living daylight out of this octane.
Where'd he go?
But let's talk about, well, why you were able to kill him and how he might have been able to kill you if the roles were changed. So what we see, and I'll just play it, but the octane moves in a straight line forward and then in a straight line back, right? So it's very, very easy to track. Forward, back. A way that he probably could have avoided this happening is, like I was saying earlier, strafing left and right. You know, moving like brazy. He would have probably put out more damage. I think he would have taken less damage. He might have still died at the end eventually, but he probably would have survived longer. So that's probably something that he could have done better. If the octane was sitting around the corner with his gun pointed out and ready for you to round the corner, he could have absolutely beamed you, because more or less what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to watch you kill the Octane and shoot. She basically did the same thing as the Octane, right? For the most part, she kind of just moved straight back. She moved a little bit to the left. And so there wasn't very much side strafing. So if the Octane was around this corner, then he could have easily beamed her like she beamed him. So that's what I'm saying. If that was the case, then this probably could have gone very differently. But if she had been side strafing, strafe left, right, you know, crouch left, right, and then hip firing, she probably wouldn't have taken as much damage as she would if she decided to not strafe left and right, because she would have been a much harder target to hit. And she fisticuffed him. Rip. So somebody is down right now. We see that the teammate is going to help, but she spends a lot of time focusing on this Octane, but she probably should have just booked it over there already, because we don't really know the situation over there, right? We don't know how much damage that the Bangalore put into the enemy, and so we don't know if the friendly Loba is going to win. Usually you want to jump on somebody with the biggest advantage you have, right? So if she goes now, then they would have the 2v1 advantage. So it's definitely best to just book it straight over. But she spends a lot of
I need
time
good things. You're the Loba.
on this Octane. And we hear them fighting right now. The last thing I want to talk about is crosshair placement. This is something that I struggle a lot with. I still struggle with this. I still catch myself doing this, and sometimes I just completely forget. You want to avoid having your crosshair pointed at the ground, right? You want it to be up in the air, right about where somebody's torso would be if they were close range. That way you don't have to bring your gun up to fight somebody. I am very guilty of this. I still do this all the time. Ask anybody in chat. Anybody in chat knows. If they see me play, I still do this all the time. But I've been trying to work on it. It feels very weird to do, but you want to keep that gun up. You want to keep that crosshair up, because pulling your mouse up and pushing your joystick up in order to adjust for somebody as soon as a fight starts is going to take more time. It's going to feel uncomfortable and you might miss a little bit more. So you just want to avoid pointing your gun at the ground. Because I do it all the time. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I need to get better at it. And I think a lot of people have the same problem. You are not alone, Froot. I do this all the time still, and a lot of people do it too. So don't worry. I still have never seen the skybox on Nick's stream. Can't confirm. Nick looks so far down I can see his teammates behind him. Okay, dude. Yeah, no, I do this a lot. All right, and that's it for this specific clip.
Did we get him all?
Yes. As far as I'm aware.
Did we get him? No one's inside the ring.
You see that? You see how fast she did that? Crazy reaction
No one's
time.
inside the ring.
Damn! You can barely see it, but damn, she reacts so fast.
No one's inside the ring.
Damn! That was so cool.